Hey guys, shooting left here. I am going to do a full disassembly of the CZ Rami. I already took it apart once to polish the trigger up, the trigger bar and all that up a little bit to get hopefully smooth the trigger out a little bit. Helped a little bit, and also I had a lot of trouble with the trigger pin here. Once I punched it in, didn't really want to go back in, so I went ahead and ordered the free float pins from Cajun Gunworks. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in, but also show the full disassembly because I don't remember seeing a lot of full disassemblies on the Rami. I've seen a couple field strips and even a little at that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. It is unloaded. If not, you want to take the magazine out, check to make sure it is clear, which it is. Alright, hold on. I already started off into a bad start. My good screwdriver. Something I always like to do is just always take the grips off first. It's also a habit. Sorry. What happens when you got the camera in front of your face. These to the side. It's a habit with my SPL1 with the double alpha grips and the grip tape on it. It's just a habit of me always taking the grips off when I clean it and all that, so that way I don't mess up the grips or get crap all in the grip tape and everything. And unlike the SPL1, these have their own little separate screw inserts, which I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but they are slotted. They're not a complete circle, they're slotted on each side, because you can see the grip is slotted. So you put them on, you got to make sure the slots are aligned because they do move. So we got the grips off, and the field strip is a little tricky for some people. There's not, I guess, most information on it. But what I've found and read and stuff, you basically go to half cock, basically push the slide back until the slide touches the hammer. And usually I kind of try to do this with the camera in front of me because I kind of just do that little number. And then, this is the full size mag, but you can use the stock one. You just push it in using the mag while you're holding that still back. If it still don't want to come out, which this is a brand new gun, you just pop it out. So we got that out, put that off, and then that just slides forward. Got your recoil spring and guide rod, which 2-piece of the size, little barrel, and of course the slide. So, and if you've taken apart an SPL1 or Shadow or any of the full-size CZs, this is fairly similar. There's a few little changes on maybe like the application of something, but overall kind of similar. So if you've taken apart the SPL1, you'll be able to pretty much take apart this. Just like the SPL1, and I know my shitty camera won't get it, but there is the spring that is right here, little spring arm. They have to pop up and out of the way so you can pull your safety off. So everything's stiff because everything's new. There you go. There you go. So you push that up and out of the way. Let's see if I got a little flashlight. I can hopefully show a little better. And of course, and that's probably not going to do you anything that's worth a damn. You'll just have to take my word on it. So there's a little spring right there. You just got to move it up and out of the way. And then when you do that, your safety will come out. You can pry on that, or you can grab right in front of the sear. And I usually pull it out that way I don't mar the frame or anything. That comes right out. You can hold your trigger sound or your fire group in place. So that comes right out. And it's just like an SP01 with all those springs. And you can take the main spring out first if you'd like. This is a little tricky. I am not good at it by any means. This is a kind of a pain in the ass because unlike the SP01 where it has the lanyard button where it's easy to push and get it out, this one it's just a flat surface. I haven't learned any tricks on it yet. I don't know if that will. And so you can't really even push it down that way. So basically, use my brass one. It's kind of I'm not too worried if I scratch that up a little bit. It's just the bottom of the piston. So I kind of. This is where sometimes leaving the fire control in all that and having it cocked. Actually, it won't work if you have it cocked because put too much pressure on the spring. So yeah, see, it's just a pain in the ass to do. And there's a tool for like the SP01. There you go. You just gotta kind of push it and push it out. I got it started. So it's just a matter of this part is the shittiest part, I would have to say, of this whole process, just because there's nothing to grab onto. Either I'm doing it wrong or they could have designed this a little better. And it could be a combination of both. Just gotta. I think I've even gone so bold as to just. Of course, the first time you do it, it seems a lot easier. There it goes. Yeah, and old ammo trays work great for little armor's blocks. Just an FYI. So there's your pin. Spring holder. The little spring there. And there's that. And I shouldn't have really marred it up too much because it's brass. Little scratches. Nothing to worry about. So yeah, so you're left with that. And like at SP01, there is the little safety detent right there with the little spring, just the same. And you get that out by just, you can kind of see it maybe. I don't know if you can see it sticking out just a hair right there. But you just give it a push inwards. And there's that guy right there. Just like the full size. Now, unlike the SP01 where you have your hammer pin and then you have the kind of the retaining pin that goes down from the top, you still have it. It's just instead of having to come from the outside, like here's my full size. Like instead of having to move this pin up and then push the hammer pin out, the hammer pin is still, or the retaining pin is right there, You just got to get it from the inside instead. So you just how did I get it out last time? There he goes. Yeah, you gotta just. There you go. It has should have a little lip on it. You can see it's starting to maybe come up. I gotta get a new camera. I know. I'm sorry, guys. It is right there. And once again, I do apologize for the shitty camera. I can't see it a little better. But it'd be in the same spot as the full size guys. So you just grab it, and there's that. So you can see there's a little bit of a retaining lip on it, so it won't go all the way down. So you can snag it and bring it up, and then just like the SPO1, it does go out from the left side. So you just push that out, and there he comes, like that. And then the hammer and disconnector and all that comes out with that. And then, just like the big brother, once again using these guys, just punch. And you always want to be careful of that little spring. He will pop out on you. So always kind of have your hand kind of covering this, because it can pop out in all different directions. And then getting the last little bit, because I don't have a long enough punch. The one I did broke. There it goes. So there is the trigger bar and trigger that I put a light polish on already, like I said. I just used the Dremel slightly just to smooth out all the machine marks. I mean, it feels nice and smooth. I could probably smooth that out more if I wanted to, but I don't want to go too deep. So, and then the only other difference, and I'll go ahead and take it apart, is the magazine release. Because I actually went in also to play with it, because on my competition gun I did move it to the right side. But with this having such big hands and this being a little smaller, when I went to try to, drop it, it would actually kind of hang up a little bit in the palm, so it wouldn't just drop out. So if I ever really needed to just drop it out and reload quickly, or if I shot this in a match, as like a backup gun match, or just to practice with it, it wouldn't just drop out. Whereas if I do this little number with my, with my middle finger, it clears and drops out. But instead of the screw for the full-size ones, this has something a little different. It's got a spring to like a plunger, and then there's a disc, and then I'm trying to show you a little bit. So basically, it's like a plunger and a disc, and I know that looks really dirty, but hey, it's like it just sits in there. And I'll show you when I pull this out. So, and you can sort of see it right there. So there's the disc on top, and then a little plunger. So you basically push the center of the plunger in, and then kind of go, and while you push it in, you just move backwards. And then, as you can see, this is that little disc washer, whatever you want to call it. And then this pretty much stays in place a little bit because you got the magazine spring holding it in. And then all you got to do and then the trigger bar spring just rides right on top of that, like this little guy. He just sits on top, and then it's a matter of pulling him out. This guy will have some good amount of tension. It's a little bit of a bear to get this one back in. There's your magazine release screw, and then your magazine release is free to come out. And then I forget. Yeah, this is also magnetic. So let me get the spring also. There's a spring. So you have a spring that goes into a hole, and you got this little piece right here. So basically how it works is basically you put the spring in, you put that on top, and it just gets pushed down by the spring. So basically the magazine release spring if I can get it, hooks in like that. Hooks in like that, and then the trigger bar spring goes on, just lays on top, and then you basically have to push this down a little bit for this to slide into a slot, and then it'll pop in and essentially hold itself in place. So that's basically the full disassembly of the Rami. Now the fun part is putting it back in. So let me get my parts ready and we'll put it back together.